On January 27th, my daughter Violet was born. She was 28 weeks and 1 pound, 13 ounces. I was rushed into Winnipeg because she was prolapsed cord, which means, you know, my placenta and her and the umbilical cord are all coming out at the same time. It was only after being here for a few months that I learned that most babies who are prolapsed cord pass away before they're even delivered because the circulation is cut off between mother and child and the baby doesn't make it. But Violet did. She was emergency section out in 8 minutes and was immediately sent by nurses and doctors into a room where they had to intubate her and kind of get her breathing going, because being so small, she was 839 grams, there wasn't much of her to be working very terribly hard. Then she was whisked away to neonatal intensive care because she needed so much assistance just to stay alive.
Violet depended on the neonatal intensive care unit at Winnipeg Children's Hospital, a unit dedicated solely to the well-being of the more than 500 sick babies born in Manitoba every year.
That whole time, she's been in hospital, and Mary has been living at Ronald McDonald House, and I have been kind of staying there and kind of staying here.
Ray's days were spent going back and forth and trying to hold down a full-time job in the meantime. And my days are just spent running hospital back, hospital back.
I don't know, it's very odd coming home and looking into the nursery and it's empty. We have a baby, we've had a baby for 2.5 months, but no one lives in our house.
Ray and I try to do as much for Violet as we can. The nurses really encourage you to be as hands-on as possible. The nurses and doctors will tell you that human touch and human voice are incredibly important to a child that's struggling to live. She's still having chronic bradycardias, where her heart rate drops suddenly, and then she has to try and recover, or you have to help her recover.
She just lies there and she stops breathing if she's having an apnea, and that can happen right there when you're holding her.
You have to try and resuscitate them a little bit, and if it's bad enough, then they have to use oxygen and a little bit of CPR, and that's very terrifying when you're holding your baby and that happens.
Well, the staff of the hospital have been amazing, right from the nurses to the doctors.
And the respiratory therapists and the pharmacists and everyone there.
They've not just given of their skills and their training. In many of the cases, they've given of their hearts and of their souls, and they've actually given us hope when some days hope was a little hard to come by.
Often I felt like I was being nursed as much as Violet was.
That's not giving an IV. That's actually giving love to someone. And we needed that, and Violet needed that every bit as much as she needed IVs.
I also know that they've had to rely on the graciousness of others who have donated time and money.
Special incubator beds are essential to the care for premature babies and cost tens of thousands of dollars each. Many are already in place, and others are being slowly upgraded through the generosity of the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba and their corporate supporters. Better technology makes for better care, but technology is always changing, so we need your help now.
I just assumed hospital equipment equals hospital dollars equals government money.
The machines that kept her breathing for the first countless weeks of her life were all donated. I'm so incredibly thankful, because if those machines wouldn't be there, neither would Violet.
And if it wasn't for these donors providing this money, the research wouldn't happen, the equipment wouldn't be there, and, well, Violet wouldn't be there. She's my miracle.